Hello, good evening, and welcome to Delve or Die. I'm Mike. Today we are doing episode 2 of our solo playthrough for Valzen and Mithara Dusk, and kind of watching the story of these two drow as they kind of progress through whatever the story generates for us So what we'll do is we'll do a quick recap as to what occurred in the last session, and then move forward into what is to occur. I guess we'll find out as we go. So, what we've learned thus far from our team. Valzen works so Valzen has basically a dual life he's living, right? So he currently works with the League of Ardent Dawn on the side. However, he's also a member of the council for his town that he currently lives in, which is Valtharn Kalaza. So the leader of the Ardent Dawn tells Valzen, her name is Bayana Kanud, she needs to get a scroll out of a certain location. It was a few days travel away from town. She sent him there alone, and so Valzen makes his way to the dungeon. Who we discovered the dungeon was a living being who was decayed, but the insides appeared to be that of, a normal dungeon. Valzen went through a couple battles, earned 2 random common treasures, which I still did not roll for, which we may do tonight or the following session. Probably would be beneficial to him, but still haven't done that yet. Valzen finds the scroll after going through the dungeon, which is where we actually started, and upon taking it, he feels like the nature of himself was being altered. He felt himself more intelligent, but it didn't affect his stats. It was just more of a feeling than anything. After grabbing the scroll, Valzen is confronted by someone he doesn't recognize, apparently from his town, threatening to expose him to the council and telling him that he's going to return and confess his behavior of conspiring with the Ardent Dawn. Apparently the town does not like the Ardent Dawn remotely. We don't know why yet. It hasn't been divulged. But they definitely don't see eye to eye, the town council and the League of Ardent Dawn. So Valzen attempted to unsuccessfully lie to the person who was following him, and that didn't work. And after going through what he thought would be scenarios, the only thing he can come up with was dispatching this person and not allowing them to live any further. He didn't want them to go and have the opportunity to say anything. So Valzen dispatches this person and unfortunately then stuffs the scroll into his knapsack. Thinks, once or twice about the consequences, but Valzen's nature is not one of pity or of sorrow, and kind of just thinks twice about it. The most thing on the top of Valzen's mind, I think, was, how am I going to make up a story about what occurred? Not the guilt of what has happened, but more of how can I make up a story of what has happened? So as Valzen is tracking his way back home, he has a couple small skirmishes, but being he's familiar with the Underdark, he manages to make his way, for the most part, back home. As he was making his way back home, we know narratively a complication occurred with his wife and family, but we don't know what that is yet, so that's yet to be found out. But we did roll that, and that did come across. Finally, after completing the travel, being some distance outside of town, Valzen was conflicted and curious because he was told by Bayana not to open the scroll. And after the feeling it gave him and the things that occurred, he decides to open the scroll, not knowing what could happen, what was going to happen. The minute he opens his scroll, his eyes and his mind see a vision of a colossal demon being instructed by another drow, and that was destroying his home and his city. And he can hear the two kind of communicating, but it was kind of like he was listening, but it was not coming. It wasn't in a language that was audible to him. It was more of a vision, kind of. He just can hear things, but doesn't know what they're saying. He understands that he is probably seeing something that is to occur. He believes that he's seeing into the future, so he's watching and witnessing his home his town being destroyed, but he doesn't know. He doesn't know when it's going to happen. Could it be tomorrow? Could it be today? He just doesn't know. So then it leaves him with some questions, and this is kind of where we closed the last session was. Valzen is wondering, firstly, why would Bayana send him to get this scroll by himself? Why wasn't he told what the possibility, like, did she know what it could contain? But at this point, his interest is not even to return the scroll firstly to Bayana after what occurred. He is thinking solely about his family right now, and he's thinking, he has this feeling that it's imminent for some reason, and he wants to get his family out of town after he saw that. He was also conflicted by the drow and the vision because he didn't know who it was. He didn't recognize that person from town at all, in the vision as well. But what's eerie about it is the outline of the person kind of looked like him. And so he was taken aback by that. That was him, and that was, or could be him. And that's him destroying his home, destroying his town. Doesn't understand it at all. So then we also found out about the town. We named the town was a random name that was generated, Veltharn Kalaza. We know that it's a rich town with houses built on stone and into rock. Its wealth is clearly on display, and everybody must be in by dusk because a horrible horror, refusing to be named, plagues the town. We do know that a wedding is currently going on and being celebrated, and that this town has issues with curses, but we don't know what those curses are. So, once we get to that point, we know that we have Valzen outside of town, and this is kind of where we're going to pick up from where Valzen was. So, we have Valzen, who is outside of town. And there's a wedding going on, as we know. The town that we arrived back into town, we're going to say close to dusk, but not quite dusk yet. And the first thing Valzen is thinking to do is to get home. But we know that, one additional thing that I didn't cover in the recap, let's go back to that. We know that Valzen was charged, or Zarin Kalaran is the leader of House Kalaran, basically the leader of the house for the town of Veltharn. And he believes Valzen to be conspiring against the house, and was wanting him watched and brought before Zarin and the house. And so, now that this occurred, and now that mostly this person is not returning, Valzen feels that he needs to carefully tread in town. Excuse me, because he's not sure what's going to occur in town, has no clue. So at this point, Valzen is probably going to try and slip into the crowd if he can, and figure out how he can get by. So the first question that I have on approach, we're getting to the city. Outside the gates, we've seen the vision, we know what's going on. I'm wondering, what are the chances that the gate has people out front? And I said that it was equal chances, and yes, there are people out front. Okay. So we know that people are out front. Perhaps, are the people occupied with the wedding and festivities and what's going on, and not paying attention to what's going on around them? I think that's probably likely with the wedding going on. And yes, they are distracted, which is excellent. So Valzen knows that on approach, the townsfolk are distracted, and Valzen most likely could slip through without being detected. So that we do know. Are there multiple entrances into the town that Velzen most likely probably would know? I mean, almost definitely, I would think he would know about, almost certain. Okay, yeah, so Velzen definitely knows of other entrances to the town. This one's kind of crowded, based on what we just asked the Oracle. So we know that the town, this entrance is crowded. What about other entrances? Perhaps other entrances? Are the other entrances crowded? Let's say there's one to the west. How many entrances? Perhaps, is there 3 entrances to the town? No. Okay, so there's not 3 entrances to the town. How about 2? Okay, 2. So we know there's 2 entrances. So the one we're in front of and another. Is the other entrance more likely to be is there less crowds at that other? Yes, there is. So the other entrance doesn't have as many people in it. Do we think that that other entrance, since there's less people, is it going to be guarded? I think that would be an equal chance. It's not guarded. Fantastic. So we know that that other entrance doesn't have a lot of people at it, and it's not guarded. Perhaps what I'm thinking is all of the town's guards are being diverted to the wedding, and perhaps the wedding is taking the attention of the town away, so that Velzen could possibly slip through the town and get to where his home is, which is great. So now that we know that, and we know that Velzen can slip into town, I'm going to pull up our town map that I drew. So one thing about this map, there's a game called 4 Against Darkness. In 4 Against Darkness, there is a Treacheries of Troublesome Towns, Tome 1 and 2. Treacheries of Troublesome Towns basically helps you to build towns and lets you build, which is what I have here. It's a full town. And there are rules to how town travel works and time and different things like that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to randomly roll as I enter buildings, or as I go in different icons. And those will determine, excuse me, what will occur in those buildings. However, being that this is his home, I'm going to assume he knows where his home is. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ping where his home is. So we're actually going to put Velzen. We said that he got through to a less crowded entrance that isn't going to have as many people by it. So I'm looking at here on the map, what is the most uncovered entrance here? It looks like, so over here where the green shade is, this is where the actual House Kalarn is, and where Zoran Kalarn would be, is in this area. So I'm assuming, so I guess let's ask the Oracle one question. And what I'm going to ask the Oracle is the wedding at around House Kalarn? I think it would be likely that it would, but let's see what the Oracle says. It's likely. Yes, okay. So we do know that the wedding is by House Kalarn, so that even gives us a better option for what we need to do, which is perfect. So we are going to go ahead and go back to our map. We have our map up. All right. So House Kalarn is here. Most of the folks are there. Velzen is probably somewhere right here. So how it works is anytime I hit an icon on the map, I'm supposed to roll to see what the random encounter is. Or if I go into a building, we're going to go ahead and ping. Let me see here. I'm not super familiar with this. Let me see. Can I ping? I can. We're going to make Velzen's house. It's not real big, but he is a noble. So here we are here. We are going to make Velzen's house right over here. So that's where we're aiming to go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is based on the rules, we can only move in squares. So we're going to come here, come here, come here, and hit this first BU, which means bully. So we need to roll for a bully at Vel's End encounter. So we are going to see what this bully is. Alright, so I need to roll a d8. Got a 3. And it's just some bellowing brutes. Perhaps I can slip by them and they won't take care to pay attention to me, is what I'm hoping. I think that it's likely that I would be able to slip by them, very likely. But I don't. No, I don't slip by them, and a useful item is found or lost. So these brutes come up to me. They come up to Valzen, and they kind of look at him. These other drow. And let's see, are they drow? Let's generate a group. Okay, so it's some Kuotoa, possibly annoyed. They're double my size, so there's 2 of them, and they are hostile. Let's see. Tall, slender. They appear to be bounty hunters. They come up to me, and they demand something. What do they demand from me? They want to antagonize a friendship. So they come up to me, and I probably recognize them. I think it's likely that I would recognize them, right? Would I recognize these folks? No. So I don't recognize them. I look at them both, and I tell them, Valzen says to them, I'm just trying to get home. I need to find my family. There's a wedding going on. We're all celebrating. Please just let me go. I have no desire, no quarrel with you. And they can see that he's wearing the proper attire that kind of may dictate he is a noble in this town. Would they be likely to respect seeing that he's wearing some kind of official noble garb? Yes, they would. So they respect, but at the same time, still being hostile, they still demand something from him. And they ask for payment from him, and they say, Sir, we are but mere bounty hunters and we need food. Well, technically they're Kuotoa, so it probably sound like, little need, little please, help us. Valzen reaches in and looks. What do we have for his gear? Does he have any money? I don't even know. He has 40 gold. He tosses them two. Let's say he tosses them 2 gold. 2. Okay. So let's ask the Oracle, is 2 gold enough to appease these bounty hunters from what he's trying to do, and he's trying to get by. He's trying to get by quick. I think it's going to be likely that they're going to say, and yes, they do accept the 2 gold. They come and say, thank you, sir. We appreciate the nobleness of your house. Please pass by. Please. Valzen curtsies them and says, thank you. I must get home. Please, please, tend to the wedding. I'm sure your presence will be welcomed. And he's blatantly lying to them. Maybe he's trying to cause a diversion, perhaps, as to what's going on. Let's see if his lie manages to get off. It's a 12. We're level 1. We're going to accept that, and they say yes. That's a 60% likely. So yes, they accept it, and they say, "Oh, wedding. We will be happy with you. Take a walk at this forum." and they kind of bow their heads as well, being appeased that they may have been paid, and kind of venture back off into the cityscapes. So now knowing this, we continue on and move forward, and we get to a pickpocket now within the city. Valzen, coming to this pickpocket here, has very little patience for people like this. And let's put it this way: has Valzen noticed? Has Valzen perceived this person to be attempting to pickpocket him, or did he notice this person? Not at all. He does not notice this person at all. So this person's coming up. They are trying to pick his pockets. How likely is this person to actually get something? I'm going to say it's equal. The person does pick his pockets, and unfortunately gets something out of it. What would come out of his pockets that he could have missed? Let's take a look at what he has in his gear. So far we've lost money and had our pockets picked. This sucks. Let's see here. Dagger, orb, which is his arcane focus. A signet ring. I don't think they would have taken the scroll. That's on his side, and he seems to be really aware of that. I would find it unlikely that they would get his scroll. So, did they take the scroll at his side? They did. Oh my gosh. So the scroll he was going to take to Brianna has been taken. Did he notice it now being taken? I'm going to say it's equal chances. He does notice it's being taken. Has the person got away from him yet? Or does he have the opportunity to, does he have the opportunity to react to this person taking this from him? He knows, he can see the person. We know that he saw it. He didn't perceive it at first, got pickpocketed. The person came, now he knows this was pocketed from him. Does he have the opportunity to react? I think it's likely. He does. Okay. He looks at this person who pickpocketed him, and it would be let's see here. It's a human in town, which is very unlikely. That's very odd. He looks at this human and says to the human, "Upperworlder, what do you do here? Why do you seek to take what is not yours? Do you not see that I am someone from a noble house?" And he is he's confused now. He's caught, and he says, "Is he likely to be hostile, knowing that he was now caught?" Well, actually, no. I think a better question would be, a better question would be, is he willing to talk? I think it's equal. He's not willing to talk. Okay. Is he willing to negotiate for the scroll? No, but a change to the physical environment, something happens to the change of the physical environment. We're going to say that as Valzen talks, perhaps Valzen Eldritch blasts a piece of the surrounding by him. Let's see what the map looks like here. Perhaps a piece of that corner building, he kind of hits it to cause some of the rocks to collapse, trying to distract the person so that they look over. and he would like to try and see if he can take this scroll back. I think it's likely. Says yes, he can, and I just want to see what the roll is for sleight of hand. I don't think the sleight of hand is going to pass, but let's take a look and see. 18 minus 17, yeah. So he manages to get that scroll back. And not only does he get the scroll back, he wants to run very quickly from this pickpocket, as well as because he caused a little bit of noise here in the vicinity. Would he have been able to kind of, as he shot that Eldritch Blast and took it, able to be smooth enough to kind of wiggle himself out of there? I think it's equal chances. Yes, he did. He ran away. Did the pickpocket see him? Yes, but a new character is revealed. Reinforcements appear. The gang leader was actually just a pawn working for a rich merchant, etc. So he does see him, but perhaps he looks and knows what has occurred, and now is going to tell someone else about what he saw in this draw, being so protective of this one scroll. So we're going to say that this human here is going to make a note. We don't know the human's name yet, so let's go ahead and put it. Let's notate that human makes note of Valzed and scroll, perhaps a underling in an organization in town. Human is a pickpocket. Human now recognizes Valzed. Okay. So we've gotten the scroll. We know that we are trying to proceed on home. Valzed makes his way up. So this icon means that someone from House Kalarn is right there. It's an M+, which means they're related to the Mansion Master for this. So we Valzed approaches this crossroads here and tries to see, can he kind of hide himself a little bit amongst what's going on? Is he able to? He's not in sight yet, so he's trying to hide himself among the surroundings. He gets a 9 for his roll. Does a 9, I'm going to say that it's unlikely. Does a 9 manage to get, would a 9 manage to possibly get by? Yes. But another change to the environment occurs. Okay, so yes, but something occurs to that environment. So what could that be? Let's look at our, let's see, what could have changed? Let's look at our action theme prompt. Inquire fame. Perhaps the Mansion Master who was, or the person who is like an aristocrat, we're going to say, recognizable from the house, is gathering attention and wants attention. So he's in the middle of this, like kind of like, you know, it's the intersection. He's calling everybody over, you know. I come on behalf of House Kalarn to bring good tidings to you all, my people. And the people are so interested. We know that our roll, Oracle did say we did manage to get by with our crappy roll, which is good. So we're gonna go ahead and slip by undetected by the aristocrat. Does anybody in the crowd recognize us? Because I would say we weren't very stealthy. No, sweet. So far this is working good. No, and something that PCs think to be one way is actually better. So, so it's even better than what we thought. So, not only do we get by without a hitch. Nobody recognizes us. And something we think to be is even better. We know that this corridor here, since we get a bonus plus effect that helps us, is this corridor we're going to say is clear. And we make our way up. And we get to one more pickpocket kind of hiding between the two houses, my house and whomever's house this is. We don't know. We have no clue. And so the next question is do we perceive this pickpocket in advance? 11. Does an 11 perceive this pickpocket? No. And a new character is revealed, or they were actually working for a guild leader. So, what is this? This is a tiefling here. And this person's a cultist, hostile, female, middle age, appears exotic. They want to interact in the Underdark. She's tall and slender. So, I'd say she's in a group. Is this tiefling? Because it's a group, we don't perceive them, so we continue on. Is this tiefling going to pickpocket something from Valzen that would be very valuable to him? So let's see here. Let's see. I think it's equal. Yes. Perhaps is it the scroll again? Are they aiming for, is this other person aiming for the scroll? I'm gonna say likely. Yes, they are aiming for the scroll. He doesn't see them. As they go to sleight of hand him, does he notice? I think at this point, since the first time that someone tried to swipe it from him, I think he's keeping it close to him. And I think that he's trying to protect this with everything he has. So I'm going to say it's very likely that he would probably notice. He does notice. Does the person manage to grab it from him? I'm going to say it's unlikely. And they do. They manage to swipe it from him as well. Does Valzen have the opportunity, being that this is now being swiped from him, does Valzen have the opportunity to react? No. And a useful item is found or lost. So I think this kind of told us right here that at this point now, that scroll is gone. It has been taken. Does Valzen see the direction the person is heading in? Equal chances. Yes, he does. So now he's conflicted. Super conflicted. Because he was trying to head home, has a scroll. Somebody tried to swipe it from him once. Didn't get it. Luckily he managed to keep it. Now someone's trying to swipe it from him again. This time they get it, and he sees the direction they're heading down. Are they heading toward that other person? Yes, they are heading toward that other person. Does Valzen want to chase them? I don't know. It's very interesting. How important is this scroll to Valzen? I think I'm going to ask the Oracle that question rather than me dictate what it is. I think the Oracle should decide. Equal chances. Is this scroll more important than Valzen's family? No. Okay. So, while the scroll is important to him, he doesn't chase after it. So scroll was stolen by two tieflings who swiped while Belzen didn't notice. The tieflings headed toward the human who attempted a pickpocket earlier. Perhaps Belzen was being watched. Maybe someone else desires to scroll. I mean, it seems like it, right? It seems like somebody else wants to scroll. But at this point, his family's his priority. So now that we know that scroll's been taken, tieflings take off in the direction of the human. We now need to move forward to the family. All right. Belzen breaks through the hurriedly comes into the door. Boom, opens it up and looks around. We know that something occurred to his family. Something bad happened. I think it's is his family here? I'm gonna say it's almost impossible that they are there. Is his family here? You see, I think I might have asked that wrong. It's almost impossible that his family is. It's not almost certain, it's almost impossible. Okay. They're not there. Is his family's here? Almost impossible. No. Okay. So we know his family's not here. Let's see. Does he see anything around that may indicate anything about the disturbance within? With the perception of 7, does Belzen notice with the perception of 7 anything has occurred in his home? What is it? Unlikely, but he does. With a 7 roll, he does notice something. So we know that his he notices something with his family missing. What does he notice? Is anything undisturbed in the home that would point out something to me? Yes. Okay. So there is something that's undisturbed within the home that would be pointed out to me. What could it be that we would see something disturbed? Art, for a descriptor focus, unnatural art. Something, maybe an art piece. He notices an art piece that looks kind of different. His wife is known for order, and seems to be that perhaps he looks at the piece of art and notices a disturbance. He finds behind the art what? Care prison. His wife leaves him a letter behind this this disturbed piece of art that's kind of hangs crooked that he noticed. And in the piece, or what she wrote him, let's see, she wrote him something about assisting her. Breach creation. I'm doing some action theme prompts here to see. Ask faction. Okay, so perhaps the faction, and we know that it says that they were something about capture. Perhaps House Kalarn has taken her and the children. Would she have told him that? So has House Kalarn, based on what we know now, House Kalarn has House Kalarn taken his wife and children? Yes. Okay. So his wife and children have been abducted by House Kalarn. She left him a letter, probably knowing this was going to happen. Do we know, is there anything else around that we can look a little further into, perhaps that would tell us where? Is there any other clues that may have been left by, maybe footprints or something? Another 10. Jeez, I'm rolling terrible tonight. I'm going to say that then it's pretty unlikely that any other clues are there. Is it unlikely? Was there any other clues left there? The Oracle says yes. So with a roll of 10, we still managed to get a clue. What was the clue that was left for us? Something was broken. Break anger. Something was broken. Perhaps in a scuffle, since we can see there was, as we further search the house, there was something broken. Could it be that the thing that was broken was maybe an insignia from maybe a noble from House Kalarn? No. But a new character is revealed, reinforcements appear, the gang leader was actually just upon working for Merchant Center. And the result is extreme. So, it wasn't House Kalarn that kidnapped her. It was somebody else altogether. Could it have been the people watching out for him? No. So it wasn't those little thieves that did it. Could it have been somebody from the Ardent Dawn? The people who he was sent for, the League of the Ardent Dawn. Could one of the members of the League of Ardent Dawn have kidnapped his family? No, and let me see, that's not very good. Okay. Yes, but something the PCs think to be one way is actually another. So, the Ardent Dawn took my family when I thought it was House Kalarn. So something the PCs think to be one way is actually another. We thought that House Kalarn took my family, and it wasn't. It was the League of Ardent Dawn, who I was sent alone for to get the scroll. Now have the scroll, or had the scroll, was stolen from me. Knowing what's coming, came to find my family, and now I don't have anything. And the Ardent Dawn has my family. Perhaps could Velzen, is there anything else in the vicinity that Velzen could deduce that would help him to make any other assumptions? Because right now Velzen is thinking, so House Kalarn and the League of Ardent Dawn hate each other. And he would think that there's no way they could work together. But perhaps they could be working together for him, to be against him. Maybe they both don't like him. Is it possible that that could occur? So is it likely that, I think it's equal, that 5 plus is equal. I need to fix that. It's probably likely that they're working together. They are. And an unexpected event takes place at a very good or bad moment. So Velzen is deducing right now that let's see here. House Kalarn and the League are working together, have kidnapped his family. He's being charged with... He knows he's being accused of conspiracy. Why? Why are they working together? I wonder if it has something to do with the scroll. Maybe it has something to do with the scroll. We don't know. So now the next thing is, so the Oracle told us an unexpected event takes place at a very good or very bad moment. Let's see. Is it likely that somebody from the Ardent Dawn or somebody from House Kalarn is coming in while he's home right now searching through the things? Perhaps somebody comes in from a different room and he can hear it. Say it's... Yes, but an unexpected change in relationship between people involved in the situation, the character's mother. So an unexpected change occurs. So somebody comes in from... Would this person be from the Ardent... From the Ardent Dawn? Yes. And but the expectation was different. So Valzen runs into the other room, hearing the door open, and sees someone from the Ardent Dawn. Let us generate a random drow name here. Random drow name generator. We're going to say it's a female. We're going to name her Irina Freth. So, a person comes into the room named, who Velzen recognizes as Irina. He looks over at her and says, Irina, what are you doing here? Being that he thinks now that we know possibly that, they're working in cohorts but aren't fully sure, she comes in. She seems kind of in a hurry, and she says to him, your family, they've taken them. And Valzen looks at her and says, what do you mean they've taken my family? Why? And she says, was Bayana likely to have ordered his family being taken? No, it wasn't Bayana. She tells him, no, it wasn't Bayana. And then he says, well, is Bayana following the... Well, I guess the first thing he's thinking is this person telling me the truth also? Right? Because just because he's being told something, does he necessarily believe? Does he have a good relationship with what's her name? Eraina? Does he have a good relationship with Eraina? I'm gonna say that it's probably likely that he does. Let's see, very likely. Yes. Okay. So does he trust her? Yes, he does. Okay. Even though he trusts her, and he has a relationship with her, we want to see insight. Okay, so that's a natural 20. He definitely knows she's telling the truth when she tells him that Bayana did not arrange this. And he says, well, who did? And Irina says, create loss. Let's see here. So something with create loss. So perhaps House Kalarn is trying to infiltrate and create division within the Ardent Dawn. Maybe there's a splintered faction. Is it likely that that is to occur? No. This doesn't have to do with House Kalarn. What about, is it likely that perhaps, maybe not House Kalarn, is it maybe someone specific in the House Kalarn? Maybe Zaran himself? No. Maybe one of his underlings? Yes. Okay. So maybe someone is trying to usurp Zaran. So it looks like there's two folks. One in the Ardent Dawn and one in House Kalarn who are working together, who orchestrated this kidnapping. Does Bayana know about the kidnapping? I'm going to say that it's unlikely she knows. Yeah, she does not know. Okay. So Bayana doesn't know his family's been kidnapped. He looks over at what's her name again? Irina. Looks over at Irina and says to her, Irina, should we go and talk to Bayana? Perhaps she could assist. I need my family. Something great, I believe a great turmoil is coming into our town. And she looks over and says to him, yes. Well, would she recommend that they would go? I think it's likely. Yeah, she does, okay. So she does. She recommends that they go over to Bayana and talk with her so they can find out where his family is. Is Irina likely to accompany him? He asks her, shall we go together, Irina, or shall we separate? I say it's equal. She doesn't go with him. She says, no, I cannot go with you. But hurry to Bayana. Hurry, go. She's waiting for you. And Valzen nods. Valzen gathers what little bit of belongings he can. He gathers a note his wife leaves him and puts it in his satchel that he has at his side. And gets ready to head back out to leave town and head to the League of Ardent Dawn. So he now comes out of town. The pickpockets that were there, are they still there? Well, we said they ran off toward the other pickpocket down. So we're gonna go back and make our way down. Those bullies are gone. We said that they were heading over to the wedding, so they are gone. Is the crowd that the aristocrat was kind of gathering, is he still there making a ruckus? I'm gonna say it's equal. He is there. Perhaps we could slip by. Let's see if we could slip by. My stealth is not very good. 13. With a 13 and the busyness, is it likely Valzen gets to slip by? No. Does the aristocrat notice him? Yes. So as Valzen goes to wander off, the aristocrat notices him and looks over as Velzen is kind of trying to sneak by amongst the crowd and says, Velzen? Velzen Dusk! Come here! Velzen looks over at the person calling over to him. And he goes, I must go. I'm in a hurry. I have business to tend to, and dusk is coming. We all must get inside. It's very important that you all get inside. And he's trying to deceive them with a 12. Is this noble aristocrat likely to listen? I'm gonna say it's unlikely. Is he unlikely to listen? He does listen. But something changes in the situation. What? Attract ally. Perhaps he does listen, but comes over to us where maybe we didn't have a good relationship with this person, but perhaps he wants to help us. Let's see what his insight is. As to the motive of this person. Okay, it's a 5. This person calls Velzen over, and what we want to know is, what does he say to? Is he trying to coerce Velzen into doing? I'm thinking he wants to coerce Velzen into coming back to House Kalarn with him, rather than allow him to go. And Velzen can't decipher whether he's trying to be good or bad at this point. So he's trying to convince Velzen to accompany him. Velzen right now would honestly not... It's very unlikely he would come with him. But I'm going to leave it up to the role. Actually, no, I'm not. Because Velzen, I mean, he wants his family. He knows he needs to see Bayana. But how likely is this person to just let him go? I'm going to say that it's unlikely. This aristocrat is going to let him just walk away. So, is he going to let Velzen just walk away? No, he's not. What is he requiring of Velzen? What does he want? Guarded boundary. Fight belief. Perhaps he goes over to Velzen and says to Velzen, I've seen folks from the Ardent Dawn in town. I gathered this group of people to try and see if I could find someone among them. Velzen, you must come back to the house. I fear that the dawn is amongst us now. Velzen attempts to deceive him with a 13 and say, I haven't seen anybody from the dawn. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for my family. And he tries to divert the subject away. Have you seen my wife or children? Perhaps. And does the diversion work? Equal. Yes, it does. And he looks troubled at Velzen and says, your family? What has happened to your family, Velzen? And he says, I don't know, perhaps nothing. Perhaps nothing. Let's go ahead and see if he can deceive again. The first one wasn't very good, but managed to kind of sidetrack that conversation. Roll of 23, yeah, definitely. Says perhaps nothing. And the aristocrat believes him and kind of lets him. He says, I must go. I really must go. I will meet you at House Kalarn. You have my word. Go without me. Dusk is coming. You know the horror that awaits. Which we don't know yet, but we'll find out eventually. And he says, yes. Okay, I will make my way back to the house. And I will meet you. Valzen nods and says, if you see anybody from the dawn, don't tell anybody. Let's work together to root it out, shall we? Let's see, is he likely to agree? No. He looks and says, that is not what Zoran told us. Let me make sure I'm saying his name right. Yes. That is not what Zoran told us. Zoran did not tell us that we must do this privately. We are supposed to do it together. As a house. Does he get suspectful of him because of that now? I'm going to say it's likely that he does get suspectful of him. But no, he doesn't. He doesn't think that, no. He has, I guess, a good rapport. Does he have good rapport with Valzen, this person? Yeah, he believes him. I'm curious what the role in roll 20 would be. I would like to do that to see if we could re-solidify that as well. For that. So, Nat 1. But the Oracle, which is our DM, told us that he does. So I just wanted to do a roll just to see what the roll will come up with to help solidify. But he does. He believes. And so we move forward. Trying to head out of town. We can hear the noble who is there kind of goes back to the attention and says, okay, okay, okay. We must all go home. Dusk is coming. We must get home. And all the people losing track of time realize this as well. As we head down, how likely is it that our pickpocket friends who took the scroll earlier are still there? I'm going to say unlikely. Are the folks who were there before, the tieflings who ran toward the thief, who attempted the first pick, who we managed to get the scroll back from, still there? I'm going to say that's unlikely, but they're not. Okay. So they're no longer there. We don't see them as well. We're going to continue on. We're going to keep going on because these were the Kuatoa before. We said the bullies before, since we had something good from up here, are no longer there. So we come down here, we make our way there because they're gone, and make our way out of town. And back to the world map. I don't have a world map yet. I may use the actual just Underdark one from Out of the Abyss, is what I'm thinking. We're gonna do moving forward. Is probably what I'll do, and I'll have to load that one up. Let me see. I may have it already. I do. Excellent. Let's add a new scene with this. Oh, that's a token. We don't want that. Let's add the map. Okay. Let's get rid of you. It's hard to see. It's not a very clear map, is it? Alright. We'll just have to make do with this for now. Okay. So, my thought is, Bawasta Oracle, is this town, Botharn Kalaza, close by to My hope was that it is close by to Dark Lake. So let's see. I'm going to say that it's equal. Are we close to Dark Lake? No. Taking a look at the map again. Are we close? Since we mentioned Kuatoa, perhaps we're east of Dark Lake. Closer to the Kuatoa village. How likely is that? Yes. Okay. Now the qualifier text I'm not going to use here because we're only asking engineer a question. Okay, so we do know. Alright, so we're going to put his token. Let's see. We're going to probably put him like somewhere right over here. And we're going to say that the Ardent Dawn location that he needs to get to is across. A little ways across. Maybe only, we're going to say it's not super far, so just 1 hex travel for him, which shouldn't be very complicated. So let's go ahead and go to our hex travel. Since we're going to travel 1 hex. Our milestone is 1. We are looking to do a survival above 10. Because he is familiar with the Underdark. 15. Okay, so he succeeds in going to the location he was heading for without fail. In the hex, he manages to come up, and we do know that he sees his water all around, and he does uncover a common treasure, which is a potion of healing. So on this map here, I now have common treasure of a potion of healing. So we are going to add a potion of healing to Valzen's inventory, which is excellent because he needs those for sure. So let's go into his inventory, manage. We are going to add a potion of healing. Excellent. So we have had a potion of healing done, and Valzen gets his way over to the Ardent Dawn. I guess what does it look like? What is this? What is it? Is it a? I guess it's a lake. Perhaps it's. Is it a cave? It's a waterfall. All right. So the Ardent Dawn headquarters is a waterfall. Friend. So let's update. Let's just do a recap real quick because I haven't touched the recap yet, real fast, of what has gone on. So we had Irina Freth, friend of Valzen, also with Ardent Dawn. Says to head to Bayana. Someone is working with House Kalarn and playing both sides. Most likely minions or underlings for both. They most likely have Valzen's family. Not sure. Wasn't traveled. Acquired a healing potion. Found location of the Ardent Dawn inside a waterfall. Hidden to the common eye. A day's travel from home. Okay. So now the next question is, knowing that we have done our travel, gone in, is everything okay there? Does anything look Does anything look odd here? Meaning, was someone? Is there any difference from before? Like, does it look disturbed compared to normal? No. And an unexpected event takes place at a very good or bad moment. So, being that we've been out of control for so long, we're going to give him something good here. Because clearly he's had a lot of bad happen this episode so far. So, typically how sometimes some of these solos works is as more and more bad events build, you have the opportunity to build a plus modifier to help you make something better. So, in this case, it's good. We get there, there's no disturbance, and something good happens. Perhaps somebody runs out and notifies him that Bayana is waiting for him. Let's see. Well, I mean, we rolled that it was fine, so yes. Does he recognize this person running out to him? I'm going to say it's very likely that he recognizes this person running out to him. Actually, it's almost certain. He still doesn't. But a useful item is lost or found, and it's an extreme result. So he comes out, somebody runs out to him that he doesn't recognize, and hands him something that would be extremely good to him. Could it be a letter from those holding his family? Yes. And something we think is one way or another. So they run out to me, out of breath. Person runs out, not even waiting for me. Valzen is greeted by another member of the Dawn, who runs out and hands him a letter indicating where his family is. Valzen is in deep gratitude to this person and says, thank you so much. I certainly appreciate the fine work you've done for the Dawn. Do we know how this got here, by chance? Do we know how it got here? Does this person know? Equal. No. The person answers, no, do not. Perhaps you need to talk to Bayana. And Valzen nods and says, yes, I will talk to Bayana immediately. So Valzen goes to meet Bayana. So we will leave it, I think, for the night here, where Valzen now acquires a letter about the location of his family, or indicating not where his family is, a possible location to where his family is. So I think this is where we're going to leave it for the night, with some town excursion, one day travel, get to the Ardent Dawn. And clearly, as you see, this is all random as we are randomly generating it to the story and what goes on and what could occur. So that's great. Hope you all enjoyed watching. Please leave comments, leave feedback, so I can continue to make content that is good and that you all will enjoy. And leave constructive comments, please, because I would certainly appreciate that. And I hope you all enjoyed our scenario as we continue going through with Valzen and Mithara, and trying right now is just to find his family. And I'm sure he's going to ask Bayana about the scroll, because now she's going to probably want to know what happened with the scroll. You lost it. So we have some things that we need to clear up there as well as the possible future of the town. We don't know either. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, And I plan on doing one stream a week. Leave feedback, comments. Please like the video. Help me to see that you all enjoy this so I can continue making more content for you all. Thank you all so much for joining me on Delve or Die, and I hope you have a great one.